Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're unpacking a fascinating, honestly kind of counterintuitive trap that catches so many of us. Actually, scratch that, it catches pretty much all of us. We're talking about the hidden danger of announcing our big, ambitious goals to the world. We've always been told that sharing our goals keeps us accountable, right? Well, today we are going to look at a powerful concept that suggests the exact opposite. Let's get right into it. Have you ever told everyone, your friends, your family, your coworkers, about something huge you wanted to do and then noticed what happened next? Did that fiery motivation suddenly just fizzle out? It's a highly relatable experience. Sometimes when we talk way too much about our dreams, they mysteriously become so much harder to actually reach. It's almost as if the very act of speaking the dream aloud literally steals the magic required to achieve it. To really understand why this happens, let's talk about a guy named Simon. Simon lived in a small village, and he was someone who had absolutely massive dreams. But he had a terrible, chronic habit. He loved shouting his unstarted plans to everyone in the local market, the village square, you name it. Literally, before he even lifted a single finger to begin the work, he wanted the whole world to know exactly what he was about to do. Just look at a typical month in this guy's life. Week 1, he proudly walks through the market announcing, "I am going to open the biggest shop in this village." Fast forward to week 2, he's completely pivoted. Now he's gathering everyone in the square to loudly declare he's going to make the most beautiful pottery. By week 3, it's a sudden, massive architectural ambition to build a brand new house. Yet, despite all these grand, rapidly shifting announcements, he never actually followed through on a single one. He never opened the shop, he didn't even touch a lump of clay, and he definitely didn't build the house. The thing is, Simon was trapped in a very specific, totally paralyzing psychological cycle. Here is how it worked. Step 1, he announces the plan. Step 2, the village gives him kind words and applause. They celebrate his words. Step 3, this gives Simon a massive rush of importance. He feels proud, he feels wonderful, and he sleeps incredibly well that night. But then, we hit step 4. He wakes up the next morning and the energy is completely gone. That drive to actually do the hard, gritty work totally vanished. Because of this continuous cycle, Simon's life never actually changed, and his hands stayed empty. He eventually ended up with a heavy heart sitting by the old village well. He felt ashamed, frustrated, and just completely stuck. One evening, sitting there alone, he confessed to a humble, quiet village elder. He sighed and said, "I have so many dreams, but I never finish anything. I don't know what's wrong with me." The elder listened, asked Simon what he did with his new ideas, and when he heard about Simon's habit of broadcasting them, he smiled softly and offered to show him something the next morning. The very next day, the elder took Simon to his small garden. He wanted to demonstrate a powerful lesson using 2 very different seeds. The first seed, he handed to Simon and instructed him to bury it deep in the dark soil. But the second seed, the elder held it up high, called over a bunch of local children, bragged about the beautiful giant tree it would eventually become, and then proudly displayed it wide open on a rock. So what happened? Well, because that second seed was left completely exposed in the open sun for the absolute sole purpose of showing it off, it just dried up. The birds came down and picked it apart, stealing it piece by piece. Left out in the open without any protection, entirely to gather attention, it stayed exactly the same and never grew into a tree. Now contrast that with the planted seed. Buried in a small hole, hidden away from the world, the elder said absolutely nothing about it to anyone. He just watered it quietly for weeks, and you know what happened? Slowly, a tiny green shoot appeared. Week after week, it grew in silence, eventually becoming a strong, sturdy plant. The elder used this to show Simon that a seed actually needs silence and darkness to grow. If you leave it in the open and just talk about it, it dies. The elder was revealing a crucial psychological trap here, the illusion of achievement. When you share your dreams too early, people's praise gives you immense pleasure. You feel proud, as if you've already done the work. Your mind literally gets tricked into thinking the goal is already achieved. And because of that premature dopamine hit, your heart loses the fire and the drive needed to actually put in the effort. Simon was getting the reward without doing a shred of the work. And then the elder gave him a profound warning. He said, "The energy you need for action gets wasted in words." That is such a powerful realization, right? Dreams are incredibly fragile at the very beginning. They require intense protection. Simon realized in that exact moment that he had been leaking all of his crucial action energy out of his mouth through empty announcements. The applause was so satisfying that he never needed to finish his projects, because he already felt finished. Deeply moved by this, Simon decided to try a completely new approach. First, he chose one simple goal: build a wooden chair. Second, and absolutely most importantly, he told no one. 0 announcements, no gatherings. Third, every evening he just went to a quiet corner and worked with his hands. And fourth, because no one knew, he had 0 pressure or expectations. He could just fix his mistakes and learn in total peace. Days turned into weeks, and finally, the chair was finished. It was strong, it was smooth. When Simon sat on it, he felt a completely new emotion. It wasn't that fleeting, empty pride that comes from people clapping at your words. It was a real, deep, unshakable pride that comes strictly from doing the hard work and creating something tangible. Think about the old Simon shouting, "I'm gonna open the biggest shop," to anyone who would listen. Now look at present Simon. One morning, a neighbor walked by, saw this beautiful chair outside, and was completely shocked. "You never told anyone," the neighbor said. Simon just smiled quietly and replied, "I wanted to finish it first." He no longer needed that external validation to fuel his inner fire. And look at the incredible snowball effect this silent effort created. He completed the wooden chair. Then, still in complete silence, he built a small table. Then he added a shelf. Then he made a stool. Years went by and Simon transformed from the village laughingstock into a highly respected, skilled craftsman. His life changed completely, all because he finally let his actions speak far louder than his words. So let's bring this back to us. Ask yourself, when you speak about your plans, are you giving away your power? How many times have you announced a goal, soaked in that early praise, and then entirely lost the energy to pursue it? Every time you let other people's reactions replace your own quiet effort, you're basically leaving your seed out on the rock to dry up. We have to protect our fragile ideas in the dark soil of effort instead. Which brings us to the elder's profound final thought. Let the seed grow in darkness. When the tree is strong, everyone will see it. The world doesn't need to know what you are building. It only needs to see what you have built. So the next time you feel the urge to broadcast your next big idea, ask yourself this. Are you willing to bury it in the dark today so it can actually grow into something undeniable tomorrow?